What's up guys, Tom from the Football Boots team, and today, as you guys can see, we are not at a football pitch, but instead we are indoor, and that means we are on a futsal court. And today we have a very cool video for you guys. We're going to be doing futsal hacks. So we're going to be showing you tips and tricks that you can do to your futsal shoes to make you a beast at futsal. So let's get into it. So getting into hack number one now, and one of the most important things that you need from your shoes when you are playing futsal is grip. Futsal is such a quick game, so little split seconds and how long it takes you to change direction on the court can make all the difference. So you could be playing on a bad surface, it could be really dirty, really slippery. There are a few ways to get more grip on your shoes. One, you can use deodorant, you can use hairspray, or you can even buy specific court spray for the soles of your shoes. And now all you want to do is you get your shoe, before you slip it on, take it out and just put a light coating of the spray on the sole of your shoe. Now, you want this to sort of let it dry a little bit without chucking it straight down on the court and getting all that dirt and dust stuck to it. But once that's done, you should have a very grippy shoe. As you can see, this shoe is not going anywhere when it makes contact with the court. Now, if you don't have any of these things with you and you're playing and you're just thinking, man, I'm slipping everywhere, I need some sort of grip on my shoes, one secret you can do, run your hands through your sweaty hair and you just want to wipe that on the sole of your shoe. Now what this is going to do is remove all that dust and dirt from the sole of your shoe, giving you a better surface to take to that court and hopefully more grip. Alright, so that was hack number one of the video of how to get more grip on your shoes and from your shoes on the court. Now hack number two, as you can see, I have my babies here. These are my favorite shoes I have ever worn, but as you can also see, they are done. They are ripped. I've completely ripped through the side of them. But one thing you'll notice is there is a lot of tape on them. Unfortunately, this tape became holding them together, but you can tape your futsal shoes to make them last longer. Now, the tape you can use to do this can be either just simple strapping tape, just like this, or else you can also use what we call K-tape, kinesia tape, which is a little bit more stretchy, but still sort of has the same properties and does the same thing. So as you guys can see on my old Gatos here, there are some specific areas that are taped up on both shoes. One that you'll notice is the instep. Obviously you're going to be striking a lot of balls in this area, and also when you slide it seems to just catch on that inside on the court. So that is going to get worn down a lot. So if you want to protect your shoes before you wear them, that is a good place to start. Now the other place where these ones actually blew out and completely gave way was on the outstep. Now this is just where your little toe meets the edge of the shoe. This is going to get a lot of wear from the side of the court, so you might want to tape that as well. On these shoes here that I'm wearing right now, I have a bit of wear on that instep, not too much on the outside, so I might leave that for now, but also a little bit on that toe box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my strapping tape here, just peel it back, and now sort of size the piece out, how big you want it. That will do for me. Tear it away, and you simply just stick that onto your shoe. You want to try and get it to have a good connection to your shoe, so you want to press it down nice and firmly and just really make sure those corners especially are stuck down there. Now the cool thing about taping is if this comes off, you simply just replace it. It is that easy, but it's just going to give you that extra layer of protection for your shoe to the court. So you now have grip on the sole of your shoes, you have protection from tape on the sides of your shoes, and we are now on to the third hack for you guys, and we have a lacing system. Now these are what can be called TWIZZLE laces or no tie laces, and as you can see I have already started to do it on this shoe here, but you simply lace it up like any other football boot or shoe that you have. Just thread it through, simple as that, and you want to pull it tight so there is as few twizzles as possible. Now the really good thing about TWIZZLE laces is that it is for the lazy person, because obviously you don't have to tie them, but that is not the only benefit that you get from these laces. I'll now chuck them on feet and then I'll show you what they do. So here we are, we now have the shoes on feet, and I'm just going to tie this shoe up as normal with the normal laces in it. and as you can see, we've now got this big lump on the top of our foot, whereas with the TWIZZLE laces over here, pure lazy man laces, just pull it tight and let it be. Now you can tuck these little pigtails into the shoe if you want to get them out of the way, but one of the biggest differences that you will notice right now is that the laces with the TWIZZLE laces has a nice strike zone, whereas the laces here, normal laces, you've got that little bobble in the way which can be very annoying. Now another thing, in futsal quite often this bobble here can get burnt. As you can see, these laces are a little bit burnt through already, so you can lose a lot of pairs of laces and have to replace them quite often. Without the bobble here on the TWIZZLE shoes, this just means that you're probably not going to need to replace these laces quite as much. So that is the no tie laces for hack number 3. Now you can pick these up at any sports shop just around you. They should have them. Just ask for either TWIZZLE laces or no tie laces. But now moving on to hack number 4, and we have another product that you can just pick up from any sports shop really. It is made for tennis and it is called lead tape. Now normally you'd put this on your tennis rackets, but I'm going to tell you a way how you can put it onto your futsal shoes. Lots of futsal shoes are actually designed to have that big reinforced toe box like these ones here on my feet. Now this is because in futsal toe pokes are so important. It is such a quick game that toe pokes are a very effective way of A, either getting a shot off, or B, even a pass. So if you have a pair of shoes that say don't have such a reinforced toe box or are a bit lighter at the toe and you want to use toe pokes more in them, this is what you can do. You get the lead tape simply like this, and you just cut off a little bit, and what you're going to do with that is you're just going to peel off the back so you've got the sticky surface, and you're going to put that into the toe of the shoe. Now you're going to reach all the way down to the end and just stick it nicely up onto the end of the shoe there, so that it now has a little bit extra weight and a little bit extra reinforcement on that toe of the shoe. Now one thing with this, if your shoes fit very snug and your toes are right at the end, obviously this isn't going to work because it's going to add a little bit of thickness to the toe of your shoe, so that would just make them a bit uncomfortable. But if you have space, this is actually a really effective way of adding a bit of weight and a bit of power to your toe pokes. So moving on from the weighted toe box, and we are on to hack number 5 now. Now a lot of you might think this is a pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory hack, but a lot of people still get it wrong. And that is to simply choose a shoe that suits your playing style. Now there's a lot of different models and makes of shoes out there for futsal, and they come in all different shapes and sizes. Obviously you have a preference to how you want to play. There's those players out there that are quick and nippy, want light shoes close to the ground, throw a few step over skill moves, whatever. But then there's also players out there who are a bit more power, a bit more strength, want that reinforced toe box for their toe pokes, things like that. And then there's players like me as well who I just want comfort on my feet. I'm a bit in between, but I just want a comfortable shoe. That is why I have a lot of leather boots in my collection. But you know what sort of player you are, so make sure when you're buying a futsal shoe that you buy to your style of play. Otherwise you might end up getting a really light, nice boot, but you want to toe poke the ball, so every time you hit a toe poke you break your toe. Who knows? You've got to buy to your playing style. That is as simple as that hack gets. Let's move on to the next one. So we are up to hack number 6 now, and as you can see with me again, I have my babies. I got my Gardos. Now these are one of the most worn out pairs of shoes I've ever owned. But the thing you can do if your shoes are completely out of grip, the grip hacks from earlier aren't helping you, you're still sliding all over the court, next thing to do is to grab some sandpaper. Now this is this grit P80, so it's pretty standard grit, and all you want to do is just take it and lightly rub it over the sole of your shoe. What this does is break up any sort of film that could have built up over the shoe that makes it slippery, and it just gives you a little bit more grip on the court. So you just want to do this until you feel it is satisfactory and you can feel a bit of grip. Now, the thing is, you can very quickly go overboard when sanding down with sandpaper. You can just keep going and then all of a sudden you can have no sole. So my tip to you is do less rather than more, especially to start with. But if you then notice that it hasn't actually had much of an effect, then grab the sandpaper again and by all means go back at it. So on to hack number 7 now, and this is a reasonably basic one which you can also do with your football boots as well. Now, if you've got some futsal shoes, these have a relatively thick sole, so you might want to feel a little bit closer to the surface, a little bit closer to the court. Simplest thing you can do is take out that insole. As easy as that. Now you've lost about, I don't know, 5 millimeters, and you're closer to that ground and everything is more responsive and easier. Now, of course, you can also do the opposite as well. If you've got some really thin-soled shoes and you're like, I need a bit more padding, I need to be off the ground a bit further, my feet are getting sore, my feet are blistering up, simply what you can do, you can grab a pair of insoles from another pair of shoes that you may have, and all you got to do is chuck that into your shoe. So you now have 2 insoles in your shoe and you have a lot more padding under your feet. It is a very simple hack, but also very, very effective. So if you are in the futsal world at all, when I say the name Ricardinho, you know exactly who I am talking about. And this is one of his hacks that he has actually used. There is a picture that we nabbed off Instagram of his shoes that he has done this to. And what this hack is to cut down the front of your shoes to release the pressure. Now, this is only going to work with sock-like boots. You can't really do it with boots that have a tongue. There is very little to no point. But what this does is it releases the pressure and it allows you to be able to tighten the boots more if you need to. We have actually done this to a pair of football boots before, so we'll put that video on screen now, as I do not actually want to ruin my Majestas, but watch this and you'll see how it is done. So as you can see, it is simple as taking those scissors and cutting straight down the middle of the shoe. Now you want to make sure that that cut does not go too far down the shoe. You do not want to go past the laces, because then it will start getting annoying. Your feet will start falling out of the shoe and it will just not be good. Now, I have to preface this. I have to say, do not just go ahead and do this. If this is what you want to do to your shoes, really do think about it, because there is a high potential that you could ruin your boots. And we do not want that to happen, so we put a big warning sticker on this hack. If it is what you want to do and you want to be like Ricardinho, then go ahead. It will relieve some of the pressure from your foot and also allow you to customize the fit much better. So we are on to hack number 9 now, and all you need for this hack is some makeup pads. Now you guys might be thinking, but Tom, you look great, you don't need anything to do with makeup. I know, thank you. No, just kidding. So makeup pads, if you are getting blisters in your shoes, these are going to be massive for you. Now what you want to do is, you can see these are just simple round pads like that, and it's just extra padding for your foot. Personally, when I play futsal, especially when I'm wearing these shoes which have a very, very thin sole, I get a lot of blistering around my pivot point on the sole of my foot. So I will use makeup pads. Depending how bad it is or how much padding you need, you can stack them up just like this, and all you want to do is place them inside your shoe like that. So when you slide your foot in, you're going to have that little bit of extra padding underneath the balls of your feet. Alternatively, you can use these makeup pads, you can get some strapping tape and simply just, before you even put your socks on, put the makeup pads on the ball of your foot or wherever your blister is and just tape that on using strapping tape. Now if you are doing it this way, you have to be careful that that strapping tape is very, very clean and there is no creases in it. Otherwise there is a high probability that you could get more blisters, and that is obviously just not what you want at all. So makeup pads, hack number 9, very simple but very effective if you have blisters. So here we are guys, the 10th and the final hack for futsal hacks, and I am holding an F2 custom futsal shoe in my hand. Now this might confuse you a bit, but for futsal you're playing inside in controlled conditions, so you can get away a lot more with having customized shoes. Also on my feet I have black copper 17.1s. Now these weren't originally all black like they are now. I have custom those and done them myself, and to be fair, they have held together quite well just because you're playing indoors. So if this is something you want to do, you want to add a little bit of a personal touch, even your name, whatever, to the shoe that you are playing in, go for it. You can do it. You're playing indoors, it is dry, so it shouldn't wear off as quick as it would if it was on a football boot. So there it is guys, futsal hacks all done and dusted, and I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I really hope I've given you guys some hacks that you can use in your futsal this year, next year, beyond. Who cares? If you do use them, make sure to get at me, let me know that you are using them. But that's it for this video guys, so thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.